You see, I'm getting better at this stuff, slowly but surely. Hello, and welcome to the car. We're on a road trip today. It's Bank Holiday Sunday, and as is typical with UK Bank Holiday weekends, the weather is bloody awful. So I am on a little trip down the M1 to Nottingham, which is a city that I know quite well actually, because I was at university there reading law. Not that I ever really did much in the way of learning. Late 90s, I think, yeah, late 90s. Anyway, at the tail end of last year, a very nice chap got in touch in the comments and said, I've got one of these SeaWyches in my garden. Are there any bits that you need? Sent me a few photos. So I'm going to pop down and see what I can cannibalise, swoop in like a vulture. I don't know, take your pick really. And that might be of use. The one thing that I'm hoping there is interior shelving, because they came with them originally. You see it on quite a few of them, but it's quite, well, for a start, mine didn't come with anything like that. It would have been lost over the years, and it looks to be quite intricate because it kind of needs to fit the contours of the boat and that sort of thing. Even if it's not actually usable, it could be useful as a template for making new pieces. So yeah, that's where we're off to today. And through the magic of editing, I'm back. I didn't take any video while I was down there, partly because I didn't want to sort of impose this on Phil, bless him, but also because it wouldn't have been particularly attractive. There was the boat was, because of water, at an angle kind of like this from stern to bow, and there was a lot of clambering on and off, which you don't want to see me doing. Anyway, I have a car full of stuff. I have a lot of stuff, and I cannot thank Phil enough for his generosity. I really can't. So I think it's a question of unloading it, going through it, having a look what I've ended up with, making a bit of a plan. I should, ideally, be out on the boat trying it out, but until I can stop the water getting in, which I can't do until it stops raining, there's little point, because I'll just have to dry it out again. So I'm just doing what I can until the weather perks up even more and I can start epoxying, putting things back in to block the last of the holes. So I may as well make the most of it. All right, let's go unload the car. Whew. Where to begin? I think we'll begin with these. If there had been absolutely nothing else, then it would still have been a great trip, because these are original shelving units for the sort of the forward half, past the quarter berths, past the bulkheads. Now, I think they're in pretty decent shape actually. Okay, there's a bit of cleanup needed, but to say that they're probably 40, 45 years old. It's worth noting that Phil's boat was a Mark II, I think quite a much higher sail number than mine. However, whilst there were some structural changes, I'm pretty certain that these will fit without issue. But the first thing that I'm going to do before doing anything with them is to get them out to the boat and check, because as you can see, you know, they're curved in lots of different ways. So it's probably quite sensible to make sure that they fit rather than strip them down sort them out, and then put them back in to find that they don't fit. You see, I'm getting better at this stuff, slowly but surely. But as I say, even if that had been it, then it would have been a journey well worth making. But that was far from it. Where to go next? Box of magical stuff. So, some of this may be usable, some of it may not. Compass, I suspect, is not, but I'm hoping maybe, you know, we can clear out the oil in it. I think they're oil based, and bring that back into service. These are the winches from Phil's boat. They are substantially posher than the winches that came with my boat. These are just snubbing winches. These are, dare I say, proper winches. There are two of them, and there is a winch handle in here somewhere. And I think, well, they're clearly made of the same material, so I think they're just what came with either a later or a slightly posher version of the boat. So those are well worth bringing back into service. We also have an original jammer. You'll remember I had some jammers, but they're plastic and they broke. So I'm going to definitely bring this back into service. This is also made of tough Nell. There's all sorts. There really is. That's a winch handle. That's the box of magic. Whoa. Okay, 2 winch handles. Don't know, winder. All sorts. What else? I mean, genuinely, where to start? An entire outboard motor, which is just unbelievably generous and kind of him. A VHF radio, likewise. Quite a lot of woodwork, not least of which an entire tiller. Now, you'll remember that my tiller is currently off somewhere being rebuilt. But if that doesn't work out, then that tiller will. And also various bits of wood. That is a step that I believe goes on top of the sink, not sure. Or it might actually go between the, between the sides of the cabin. So that'd be useful. Comes complete with a little hanger for what looks to be a fire extinguisher on the back. This, I mean, these have seized up, but it's foldable, or would be. I'm guessing a table. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's like Christmas has come early. This is a proper door for the pantry. I have a piece of wood that is not dissimilar in size, which I have already done. If it's identical size, then I may look to use this instead. Original hinges. Nice. And a table with a leg, and that goes on here, will go on somewhere. I don't know where, but I will find out. There is more. There's a spinnaker arm, there's a boom cover, there's a spinnaker, all sorts. It's like Christmas has come very early. So I'm going to crack on, do some measuring, do some organising, and then start tidying up a little bit so that I can work out what I'm working on. Just had a moment of genius when I noticed that both of these things have got black things on them. So I will need to revisit the design of my bulkheads, I think. I will show you the original in a minute, but basically I cut out a cutaway piece that I think these bits are dependent upon. So they slot on top of the cutaway pieces, and then that goes in there like that. The leg comes down, and hey presto, you've got a table between the 2 quarter berths. So that's great. It's quite difficult to see, but if you imagine this is ground level and that's up high, these slots here I haven't replicated on my version of the bulkheads, but I may now do so, or try and get away with a smaller version. And those are the slots into which these grooves drop. Right, so time to work out what goes where. I'm going to start with the ones that were mine that I know are original, and fit those in, because then hopefully I'll be able to fill in the gaps. We've got a complete set of original locker tops. The only one that looks a bit suspect is that one down the end. But then what else do we have? So we've got the steps, which, if you can see, no, you can't see, which obviously doesn't go this far forward. I can't tilt the camera down far enough for you to see. So that works really well there, and has a nifty little bracket on the back. That's a nice idea, actually. I honestly could have sworn that I had a step, but perhaps not. So the funny thing is, I'm left with quite a lot of pieces. Obviously I've got duplicates. Some of them, annoyingly, I've done, but some of them are too small to have gone on the locker tops anyway. You know, this is the smallest size of locker top. You can see that's far too small. I'm wondering if possibly it's supposed to be shelving, or I don't know, maybe they combine to go over the sink. Let's have a play. Too small for the sink, not too big in that direction. Genuinely struggling to see where these might be used. I'm going to bring in the table. This kind of looks like it's designed to sit. No, I think that's just wishful thinking on my part. It's just an odd shape. It looked like it was designed to fit in the cabin sole, but obviously not. Right, next. This really is the moment of truth, because all being well, I do have some wiggle room. That's the bulkhead. It will be, it's not perfect, particularly you should be able to see in that bottom corner. That's where I had to estimate. But it attaches here, and it fits nicely under there. It could do with being a bit tighter here, however, it is going to be glassed into place. And there will also be a sort of padding strip between it and the roof and the sides. Let's just see how it looks on the other side. They should ideally be identical. Yeah, I think that's going to be all right. I think that's going to be all right, because it wasn't full height originally. I can jam it up a bit, hold it in at the bottom. Yeah, so that's okay. Now, I talked earlier about the table. So the original bulkheads have a cutout here. So this then fits onto there and there. And then the table end hooks into that. So I need to take those back out to put those in place. And then finally, we have this puzzling piece here. I'll move these out of the way. I can get to it. Which Phil wasn't entirely sure what it was. So it's not for the toilet, I don't think. Unless it might be. Could be. It's not a million miles away, but I don't think that's what it's for. No, it is a million miles away. So where else might it be for? Possibly across there. Everything I move into a place that I want to then access. It does. I would say, does it? No, again, not quite, obviously not that way. Okay, that's a bit of a mystery. What I do have, because there was a very active owners club back in the day for these things, is a modifications manual, and they list lots of things in there that you can modify or add. I suspect, hopefully, that this will turn up within. But in the meantime, that big one can go back on. And that leaves us some spares, yes, but then also the puzzle of these bits, which are the bits that are too small to be anything practical, really. But a lot of them, and I'm not sure why, seem to have this corner cut out. I am completely at a loss. Those look like that one's just a replacement for that lock top there by the look of it. So that's superfluous. This one, it could be a shelf. Maybe one of the other ones is a sort of backing, but I don't know. Anyway, the table will need a revamp. Bulkhead needs to be just tweaked, and then glassed in, and I need to pack away the spares, and that should be the next step. There we go. Sorry about that. You didn't really need to be here for that bit. Right. See you next time. Thanks very much as always for watching. If you are enjoying it, then give us a thumbs up or subscribe or whatever. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye bye.